Good morning. I wanted to come to you today because I'm at a conference in Michigan, my last speaking engagement of the year, and I like to get up and walk. And I don't like to wear headphones. One, because I have sensitive ears, and two, because I hate to shut anyone out. I'm very inclusive that way. And so I decided I'd get up this morning and listen to my devotional as I did laps around the pool. So I got here at about 5:15, and I've been doing laps around the pool. It's been almost an hour. And since I wasn't going to have an H3 TV today, I decided I would come to you live and not interview anyone. And I would talk to you about how I navigate disruption. So I have a whole bunch of thoughts today. I hope they will encourage you. First of all, I'm in Michigan, Troy, Michigan, and I'm speaking at a charter school conference this morning, and a bunch of the schools are closed. And I was thinking, kids are brilliant. Aren't children brilliant? I've always loved children. And they know how to navigate disruption amazingly. The schools are closed today, and they can't wait to get on their snow pants and go outside and play for 10 minutes, go inside and have hot cocoa, go back outside and play, right? They know that moving their body and seeing the joy in the midst of the disruption, not that it's the worst thing in the world when schools are closed. Sorry, teachers. Well, maybe it's good for the teachers too. But they said lots of schools are closed. And I was thinking they do it with joy. But this morning, I was thinking about a couple of things. One, I was thinking, how have I navigated disruption my whole life? And I was thinking, I didn't necessarily have a moment that I had disruption. I've had a lot of disruption. I was kind of born into disruption. When I was born, I was the fourth daughter born to my mom and dad. My mother had already had a daughter years before me, and I'm trying to think of how much older she is than me, maybe 6 or 7 years before me. She had a daughter that she placed for adoption but never told anyone. So I was born her fifth daughter. My dad only knew it was her fourth daughter, and he really wanted a son. So, like, right from the get-go, life was disruptive. Like, what do you do with that? What do you do when you're born into a place where nobody really wants you, but they're Catholic and they don't believe in birth control? So they just keep having babies because they think it's the right thing to do. They think it's a gift from God. And though children are a gift from God, having children you cannot care for, manage, or afford. And I was the middle. After me, there was 5 more pregnancies and 3 more boys were born. My mother had 2 miscarriages and then 3 sons. But I was thinking right at the get-go, there was disruption in my life. Like, I started into chaos and disruption. So what do you do with that if that's your beginning, being born into a dysfunctional family? And then some may label me or want to label me, I don't really receive it, as disabled, learning disability. But I may have dyslexia or ADHD, but I don't use it as a crutch. I just don't. I can't. I feel like, including myself, many have bet against me my whole life, thinking I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable enough, I don't come from the right family, I don't have the right support, the right circumstances. But every single time that happened to me, and it happened a lot, I used it as fuel to, like, what if? What if instead of saying you'll never make it, I hear, I dare you. I hear, good luck. I mean, sometimes I am fascinated with my own ability and drive because I get up early. And most days, not always, but most days, I'm highly motivated. Like, how did I figure out how to write a book? Why did I write a book? Why did I think anyone would read a book I wrote? And now I've written 11 books. Like, I didn't know how to read. And now I write books that other people read. Like, that's amazing. I struggled in school. I struggled to learn. I struggled to pay attention. I struggled to follow the rules or the way they taught unless they were interactive. I couldn't pay attention. And yet I get to speak to educators today. And I always longed to be a third grade teacher. Mrs. Rico, she was so special to me and so kind to me. Even though I didn't know how to read, she told me I was good at math and that poor kids are good at math. And I just, today I get to speak to educators and I'm just like overwhelmed with like how I have navigated disruption in my mind is like the movie Nemo or whatever it is like, just keep going, just keep going. Done is better than perfect. Just get up and do one thing, just one thing every day. So I do one thing every day, whether it's a live stream, whether it's speaking, whether it's coaching, whether it's writing. I am excited after January 1st to get back into my 12th book, and hopefully my plan is to release that March 1st, which will be my 12th book, which is amazing, amazing, right? So, how do you navigate disruption with hope, health, and happiness? Hope, I always plan things ahead, whether it's people coming to visit me going to visit people, going on a trip, going out to dinner, going on a beach walk, having an experience or an engagement with another human to look forward to. Yes, my speaking engagements, I love those. I'm so grateful. I already have 15 on the books for 2026. Still have plenty of room for a few more. I like to do between 50 and 100 every year, just pouring into people, encouraging all different audiences from financial services to healthcare to hospitality, education to social services. I just love the work I get to do, which also is very invigorating. Find something you love and go after it, and do it part time in the beginning if you can't afford to do it full time, but do it. But one way I stay hopeful is I always have things to look forward to and anticipate. But another thing is get up and do something, even if it's just one thing, even if I'm depressed, even if life is hard, which I gotta say, life is sometimes more often hard than easy, but I just keep going. Maybe I'm too naive. Maybe ignorance truly is bliss, and I'm pretty ignorant. Like, I don't see the dark in the world, I see the light. I don't see the negativity, I see the good. I don't see crabby, I see hopeful. How do I stay healthy? I move my body. I move my body every day. It is medicine. I turn up the music. It is joy. I do the things. I start with God's word. For me, that is the grounding in who He created me to be and what is possible when you let the Lord lead you in the midst of the hard. And how do I stay happy? I mostly laugh at myself. Like, I crack myself up every day. And I'm not saying everybody else thinks I'm funny. In fact, many people think I'm weird. And I've had some really cool things spoken over me and spoken to me lately. And one thing that was on my heart last night and this morning is I missed CSP Summit last year. So CSP is a certified speaking professional summit that we have once a year in December, maximum 100 people, and it's kind of invite only. You have to be a certified speaking professional to be able to go. And last year, life was chaotic again, as it kind of is this year. And I accidentally forgot to sign up. And then by the time, I just couldn't make it work. But 2 years ago, I went and I ended up in the hospital. Some of you may or may not know this, but I ended up in the hospital full on panic attack. And I think two things happened. One, a lot of people asked me about the hurricane, which is kind. And so many speakers stepped up and supported me as we walked off Fort Myers Beach. But it was still devastating. It still is today if I talk about it too much. I'm not healed enough from that. It's not far enough removed from my life. It's been a little over 3 years. But so many people were asking me about it. It kind of spun in my head, and my blood pressure went over 200, and they brought me in an ambulance. How embarrassing! From a conference where I really wanted to be, into to the hospital for 2 days instead of being at the CSP. So that was kind of a bummer. But I also think it's not just all the questions about that. Even though in the beginning of this conference, they ask us, genuinely, someone who leads usually says, please don't peacock. Like, some of you are making well over $1 million. Some of you are making well over six figures, but don't say I'm making eight figures. Don't do this, don't do that. And for the most part, most of the people don't. But every once in a while, there's one or two in there telling you how amazing they are, how great they are, how they're richer than anyone else. The other thing about this weird business is we can go on social media and say we're speaking all over the place, we're doing this and that. And then I talk to these speakers, some are paying to speak, some are not getting paid to speak. But on social media, they look like millionaires and like they're speaking everywhere. But in this particular year, we break out into small groups of 10. There was someone in my group that just, I felt so much pressure being around them. And just that they're kind of selling you the whole time. They're kind of telling you how great they are. And it makes me uncomfortable. And I think it got in my head. which I really try hard not to be a comparison person. But on this day, it got in my head and I felt like, oh my gosh, you'll never be as good as them. You'll never be as known. You'll never be as successful. That negativity, when we allow it in our head, which it comes to all of us, it can like snowball so fast and so loud, like it's racing down a hill, just multiplying by the moment. And I think between the hurricane questions and that particular person and being at this event where I know out of 100 of us, probably 10 to 20 are in the $1 Million Roundtable, which is another next level at NSA, National Speakers Association. I think I took it all in. And I think that comparison, that thief of all joy saying, as good as you are, you'll never be as good as them. You'll never get to the level. You'll never make as much money. You'll never make as much of an impact. You'll never be known as much as an expert. You'll never be as successful. You won't have as many bureaus. You won't have as many agents coming after you. All those things got in my head. And what I wanted to say about that is that last week I was chatting with someone, and him and I know each other through the Speakers Association, haven't seen each other in a few years. And he was saying to me, it just touched my heart so deeply. He was saying to me, I watch your videos. Like, you inspire me. Like, I always watch you. And I think when I want to be inspired, I watch your videos and I see what you're doing. And you're just doing such great work out there. And I want to do what you're doing someday. And it really touched me because sometimes I'm so busy going that I forget to recognize all that I've done. And sometimes I'm so busy thinking about what's next or what I haven't achieved or what else I could achieve and how I got to keep going that I forget to recognize the enormous impact I've already made in thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives. Like between conferences I speak at, books I've written, social media that I encourage on. Like, I have the privilege of using my words, spoken, written, and encouraged, to help people that I may never meet. And there might be people out there watching you, just like people are watching me, watching what you do, watching what you say, watching how you treat other people in person, on social media, from the front of the room. And I always say, like, I don't do gigs, I do powerful presentations, because I literally tell myself, Annie, your goal today, like as I get ready to speak today, is to take all that you have, all your encouragement, all your wisdom, all your love, and pour it, literally pour it into every listener in that room. Like, take what you've been given and go refill someone else's cup, someone else's vase, someone else's bucket. And so one of the ways I stay happy is by doing what I feel so deeply called to do. And some people see this as a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. What we share as professional speakers is wisdom, is experience, is grit, is resilience, is overcoming, is success in climbing the corporate ladder, is success in buying, selling, building franchises. Not in that order. I guess we buy them, we build them, we grow them, and then we sell them. But I've had so many experiences from the financial world, from owning gyms, from being a franchise, from being a mom, from being a wife, from being a speaker and a coach and a writer. And I think it's such a privilege every time someone invites me to share that and encourage them on their journey. So on this wild, windy Wednesday, wintry, windy Wednesday, for many of my friends and colleagues in the Midwest, I say, look for ways to disrupt that disruption and to find hope in the hard and to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, relationally, and in your career. Take care of yourself and then find happiness. Laugh at your messy. Be silly, be playful, be an encourager to yourself and to others. We get one life to live, and it is short and it is busy. And get up and get some steps in. I'm walking around the pond. No, it is not warm outside. It's freezing, but it's super warm in here. So I decided, so I couldn't walk at the beach, I would walk at the swimming pool. Plus, I like to listen to everything out loud. And as you can see behind me, everybody's in the gym. And they're probably thinking, who is that weirdo? But I think it's normal to be called a weirdo. I don't want to put things in my ears. I know, all of you do, many of you do, but I have sensitive ears. So have a wonderful, wild, windy, welcoming Wednesday, and go be kind to someone, mostly first to yourself and then to someone else. God bless, and thanks for listening.